So we moved to Rochester about 3 years ago, and we knew we wanted a big property. We're very much into vegetable and flower gardening, and the front yard was just a lawn, and we had plenty of lawn to mow, and so we were looking to do something different and something that would actually benefit the ecosystem and the environment and the soil. Originally it was just mowed lawn, but it was a low spot. It's kind of in the ditch along the road, and there's a culvert there. So in the springtime with the snow melt, there's usually some standing water there. So it was kind of not usable as lawn, and we didn't have a use for it. So we bought a couple different seed mixes that are kind of specific. One was a bit on the drier side, one was more on the wetter side. And so the area that's really wet, we put down some seeds that do better in more wet standing water areas. And then on the more uphill side of it was a different mix that is supposed to do better in drier areas. And so we kind of did our best to kill the grass with black plastic. We did till the lawn once before we spread the seed in the fall. And the seed mix was, I think, upwards to 50 different species of all native Minnesota grasses and a lot of different varieties of flowers that bloom collectively throughout the year and have good habitat for pollinators and insects and other wildlife.
And we got our seeds from Minnesota Native Landscape Corporation, and before we did anything, we called them up, and they were really helpful in just helping us think through like the type of seed mixes that we might want to plant here, and they also had some videos of how to prepare the area and then go about the seeding process.
Starting from seed, the first thing to grow usually is not what you seeded, but other volunteer plants and invasives and the grasses that were there before that you didn't kill off. So you do have to initially control that with some kind of mowing or selective weed whacking, particularly in the first year or two. But beyond that, it's pretty low maintenance and kind of takes care of itself. And in future years, I think we'll do less and less of that selective weed whacking as the natives take over and do their thing. It's a big area, and so having that grant money allowed us to do the entire area we wanted to, whereas otherwise it may have been much smaller. And for us, the seed mix was the biggest cost. It's well over 1,000 square foot, and to cover that with a good amount of diverse seed mix was where most of that money went. And the rest was kind of renting some tools and equipment to kind of prepare the land. My advice would be that it's doable yourself, and it's very fun. And once you get it established, it's a fair amount of work up front, but particularly if it's a smaller area, it's very much doable. The grant application process was very straightforward. You just kind of explain what your project is and what your design is, and the city will work with you in getting there and help you if you need help in that design process as well. So a bit of work up front, it's not too much. Once you get it established, it mostly takes care of itself. So, I mean, I think the grant is a really cool opportunity. It's cool to see that the city is so supportive of these projects, because I think they are really good for the local ecosystem and the soil and the pollinators. And ours is very much public. It's right along the road. People can see, we've got that sign there. So we see people walk by and just getting more exposure to what a pollinator garden is, and it's not a field of weeds, even though it is a field of weeds. It's actually very, very important and has a very kind of acquired beauty to it that has been really fun for us. Each week, at least once a week, we go out there, and there's usually something new that we find that has popped up, and we're trying to identify it. And so it's been a really fun process, and it changes week to week, which is really cool, and it's been really rewarding.
Yeah, and something we noticed as we go to like different nurseries or plant stores around here, it's actually sort of hard to find native plants to put in the ground. And you go to a nursery and you actually find like an invasive plant that's being sold. And so I think that's something, to Brett's point about it being so public and we see people walk by and look at it, we hope that it's something that people we're seeing more of, and knowing that the city made it really easy to like fund a project like this. And ours was probably on the bigger end of something that people would take on through this grant. But it's very doable, and it's been very fun.